I'm Leslie, and today we're diving deep into a plant that revolutionised communication, record keeping, and even empires: papyrus. What is it about this unassuming reed that made it so significant? How did it shape history, and how could it still be relevant today? We're going to explore these questions and along the way uncover how some of history's most important events and figures were tied to papyrus. To understand papyrus, we need to travel back over 5,000 years to the banks of the Nile in ancient Egypt, where cypress papyrus grew in vast quantities. Papyrus wasn't just a plant, it was a crucial element in the rise of Egyptian civilization. Egyptians used it to craft everything from boats to baskets, but most importantly, they invented a revolutionary writing material from it. The Egyptians had long been carving their records into stone and clay, but papyrus transformed the way they documented their lives. We're not talking about shopping lists. Papyrus was central to the recording of Egypt's most important texts, such as royal decrees, religious scripts, and legal documents. Papyrus was central to the lives of Egyptian pharaohs, who relied on it to run their vast empires. Let's consider the reign of Pharaoh Ramesses II, one of Egypt's most famous rulers. Ramses, known for his extensive building projects and military campaigns, depended heavily on scribes to document his decrees and victories. These records, written on papyrus scrolls, ensured his legacy and allowed Egypt's complex bureaucracy to function. Then there's the famous Egyptian Book of the Dead, a collection of funerary texts that were written on papyrus scrolls and buried with the deceased to guide them in the afterlife. These texts were so important that their use spread beyond the elite, making papyrus a key part of religious and social life in ancient Egypt. The widespread use of papyrus, particularly for these monumental texts, helped to preserve Egyptian culture for thousands of years. Many of the documents that survive today, thanks to the dry conditions of Egyptian tombs, are written on papyrus, giving us direct insight into the lives and beliefs of the ancients. Papyrus didn't remain exclusive to Egypt for long. As Egypt's influence spread, so did its most famous export. Soon papyrus became the writing material of choice for the ancient Greeks and Romans. Imagine the bustling port of Alexandria, one of the most important cities of the ancient world, and home to the legendary Library of Alexandria. This library housed thousands upon thousands of scrolls, almost all of them written on papyrus. It's said that famous scholars like Archimedes, Euclid, and even the philosopher Aristotle had works stored here. The very foundation of Western philosophy, science and mathematics was recorded on papyrus, making it essential to the preservation and dissemination of ancient knowledge. But here's something intriguing. Julius Caesar, one of the most famous figures in Roman history, is indirectly tied to the decline of papyrus in one crucial moment. During Caesar's siege of Alexandria in 48 BCE, parts of the Library of Alexandria were destroyed. Many scholars believe that this event led to the loss of countless papyrus scrolls, effectively erasing an enormous amount of ancient knowledge. This incident highlights both the fragility and the power of papyrus. It was a material that could preserve knowledge across centuries, but it was also vulnerable to destruction. The burning of the papyrus scrolls in the Library of Alexandria remains one of the greatest intellectual losses in history. Our investigation takes us to another pivotal moment in history: the rise of Christianity in the Roman Empire. Early Christians relied on papyrus to spread their teachings across the Mediterranean. The letters of St. Paul, some of the most influential texts in Christian theology, were written on papyrus and circulated among the early Christian communities. By the 2nd century, the codex form, which we now recognise as the precursor to the modern book, began to replace the traditional papyrus scroll. Early Christian texts were among the first to be bound into codices, making them more portable and easier to store. This shift to papyrus codices played a crucial role in spreading Christianity throughout the Roman Empire. But as the Roman Empire declined, so did papyrus. By the Middle Ages, parchment made from animal skins became the preferred material for manuscripts. Papyrus, once the lifeblood of communication and knowledge, fell into obscurity. However, papyrus has never fully disappeared from history. Today, archaeologists continue to unearth papyrus scrolls from the sands of Egypt, and these discoveries are rewriting parts of history. In 2013, a remarkable found known as the Gospel of Jesus' Wife fragment, a piece of papyrus, sparked worldwide debate about early Christian texts. While its authenticity remains debated, it serves as a reminder that papyrus still holds the key to unlocking ancient mysteries. After all this historical intrigue, it may surprise you to know that you can bring a little piece of this ancient world into your own garden. That's right, papyrus is making a modern-day comeback as an ornamental plant, even in climates like the UK's. But how do you go about growing this legendary plant? First, let's talk about the variety. The classic Cyprus papyrus is the same species used in Egypt. Its tall, feathery stems can add a dramatic, exotic look to any water feature or bog garden. It thrives in moist soil, so if you have a pond or marshy area in your garden, papyrus will feel right at home. For UK gardeners, one of the biggest challenges is winter frost. In colder climates, papyrus needs protection during the winter, or it should be grown in pots that can be moved indoors when temperatures drop. There are other varieties that are more suited to smaller gardens, such as Cyprus alternifolius, known as the umbrella plant. This variety is more compact, but still brings that distinct, elegant shape to your garden. And if you're keen to start growing, UK Tropicals offers detailed grow guides specifically for cultivating papyrus in the UK climate. From tips on soil and water conditions to winter care, these guides will help you grow your very own piece of history. So, what have we uncovered about papyrus? It's more than just a plant. It's a living link to some of the most significant moments and figures in human history. From the pharaohs of Egypt to the scholars of Greece, from Julius Caesar's conquest to the spread of Christianity, papyrus played a critical role in shaping civilization. And now this ancient plant offers a connection to the past for modern gardeners, allowing you to cultivate a piece of the Nile's history right in your back garden. Thanks for joining me on this investigation into the world of papyrus. I hope you've enjoyed this journey through time and that you're inspired to explore how a simple plant could shape and continue to influence the course of human history.